Hi guys, so what we're going to look at lastly is percents, decimals, fractions, and equations, and how we can use everything we've learned so far to help us solve these types of problems. Alright, so if we look right here, 35% of 80 is what number? So we're going to take this word problem right here and we're going to turn it into an equation with what we've learned with part 1 and part 2. So if I look at 35%, I can turn 35% into a decimal. So percent to a decimal, I'm going to just move this to the left 2 spots. So that leaves me with 0.35, turning the percent back to a decimal. The word of means multiply, all right? So that word of, we're going to multiply. And then 80, that's nicely still 80, is means equal. And then what number is our unknown x? Okay? So what we're going to do, we're translating all of these things into usable things which we can solve, okay? So let me go ahead and help you with a couple of these, and then we can go back and solve. Okay? So it says right here, what percent? Well, do I know? No. So whenever you see that word what, that what is our x. All right? Of, that word of means times. 25 goes straight down. Is our equal sign, and then 5. All right? So right now I'm just helping you translate, and then we'll go back and we'll solve, okay? So if we look right here, 10%, well, that percent's not really helping me much, so I'm going to convert that to a decimal, all right? So if I move that 2 spots to the left, and I want to turn a percent to a decimal and move it 2 spots to the left, I get 0.10, okay? The of means times. The is equal. Is means what it is, equals. And then that what number is our x. Okay? Now let's go back to 4. We're just setting it up. We'll solve it in a minute. Alright, 4 right here. We got 150%. That's not helping me too much, so I'm going to convert that to a decimal. 1, 2 spots to the left. So from the last videos we learned from converting a percent to a decimal, you want to move it 2 spots to the left. So that's going to leave me with 1.50. Of means times. We got our 40 still there. Is means equal. And then we have our what number is going to be our x. Okay? What percent of 60 is 15? So the what is our x, of is our times, then we got 60, is our equal, and then 15 drops right down. Alright? This 20% right here is not really helping me. So what I want to do is convert it to a decimal. So we got to move it 2 spots to the left. 1, 2. 0.20 of means times. What number? We don't know. So we're going to x is my equal. And then we have our 18. Okay. We're going to set this up. 15%. All right. 5%. So that's not helping me. So I'm going to move that over 1, 2. With an empty spot, we put a 0. So I got my 0.05. So my decimal's right there. 0.5. Of means multiply. Of means multiply. 80 is, let's my equal sign, what number? X, right? 10%. I want to move it to a decimal, so I'm going to move it over to the left, 2 spots. 0.10 of times what number, don't know, X is equals 18. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to set up the back, all right, and have me or Mr. Kosier look at it, make sure it looks good, and then once you have that all set up, then you're going to solve everything, okay? So before you move on, go ahead and pause right now, set up the back, and once you have the back set up and it looks good, then you can watch the rest of this video, okay? Alright, welcome back. If you haven't set up the back yet, you need to pause the video. But this part right here, we're going to start solving, okay? So, we want X all by itself. And if you look, it is all by itself. So all I have to do is multiply 0.35 times 80. And then I got my X. So right here, 0.35 times 80. 28. Alright? This next one, X is not by itself. Leave me alone times 25. Alright, so what's the opposite? This is where we're using our tools from the last couple of units, sections. Leave me alone times 25. How do I get rid of times? Gotta think opposite. Yeah, so the opposite of times is divide. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So X equals 5 divided by 25. Oops. 5 divided by 25 is 0.2. Okay? So they want the percent. So my percent, I'm going to have to multiply by 100 for percent, or multiply by 100 for percent, or just move the decimal. 1, 2. So X will equal 20%. Okay? So you can move the decimal 2 spots to the right to get the percent, or multiply by 100 to get that percent, because that's the decimal. Right here it says 0.10 times, we forgot the 8. We've got to put that 8 times 8. So for that one we forgot number 3, we forgot the 8. So right here, just X is by itself. X is by itself. We're ready to go. So 8 times 0.1 is 0.8. And they want the number. So that's our number. So we're good to go. Done. Right here it says is what number. Alright. So we just multiply. X is by itself, so let's just do the multiplication. 1.5 times 40. So our number is 60. It says what percent? So at the end we're going to have to move it or multiply it by 100, okay? So for number 5, X is not by itself. Leave me alone times 6. For us to solve for X, we got to make sure X is all by itself. So leave me alone times 60. So the opposite of times 60, yeah, is divide. Whatever you do to one side, gotta do to the other. Alright? So these 60s cancel out. X equals 15 divided by 60, 0.25. 0.25. Well, it wants the percent. It wants the percent. So I got to move this 1, 2, and that's going to give me 25%. All right. Again, this next problem. What number? So we don't have to worry about moving anything right now, but it says leave me alone times 0.2. So what's the opposite of times 0.2? Divide. by 0.2. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Okay? So 18 divided by 0.2 is 90. X equals 90. And that's what number? So that's it. We're good. We only have to move it if it wants a percent. Okay? And then the next couple is what number? X is by itself. So we're good to go. So we just got to multiply 0.05 times 80. 0.05 times 80. What do we get? 4. This one is, leave me alone. X is not by itself. Leave me alone times 0.10. So we got to figure out what's the opposite of times 0.1? Divide by 0.1. Divide by 0.1. Right? So that cancels out, leaving us with X equals 18 divided by 0.1. Ooh, 180. Okay, and we don't have to worry about moving anything because they just wanted the number. Right? They just wanted the number. Okay, so you're going to practice that with the back. All right, and if you need some help with anything, like these other sheets that you're going to come into, it's the same thing. Okay, just ask for some help, and we'll come by and help you out. Watch the videos again if you need. Good luck. Take care.